Everybody knows Beth, yeah. You see her van coming around, you think, oh, there's Beth.
Beth is very well known in the area.
Beth is obviously a bit of a celebrity. She's always in the North Devon Journal and everybody knows her.
Meet Bethany Tyler King. She has a thing for animals. Well, a bit more than a thing for animals, actually. She has a squirrel, a parrot, a pigeon, hedgehogs, 7 dogs, 14 cats, 5 owls, 12 hens, 2 ponies and 1 very special fox. But more about her later. Bethany runs a wildlife rescue centre on the North Devonshire coast.
I moved to Devon to have a fresh start, live near the day with my dog. And so I decided to look after animals full time, and it just took off from there. And over the years, you know, you have to build up respect and, you know, recognition really. And over the years, the vets have got to know me, the general public have got to know me. I've got little posters everywhere, and it's just, you know, really become quite big really.
Running a wildlife sanctuary isn't cheap, and funding's a considerable challenge.
To fund the work I do car boot sale, which is mainly in the summer months, from April to October. People are all very kind and sending me donations through the post. People save me the newspapers, old towels, blankets, and things like that. I'm very fortunate in that the 2 main supermarkets in Bideford are instrumental in giving me a colossal amount of donated dog and cat food. A friend of mine wrote with an article of me being in the paper because they have to get permission as to whether I can be allowed to share in the donation bin, and fortunately they said I could.
Beth is quite a well-known figure within the area, and it works in the way that customers put items in for her. Dog food, but other dog food, cat food, but other things as well. So obviously, I noticed some packets of sauce mix and things like that in there for the birds and things. So it's probably quite suitable, you know, sort of fatty foods.
Beth has a favourite amongst her menagerie, and her name is Millie. Millie the fox.
Oh, Millie's my baby.
Millie was brought to Beth's sanctuary 2 years ago after she suffered a terrifying ordeal at the hands of some local boys.
Hey, you lot, what are you doing? Leave it alone. Go on, get out of it.
Luckily, the passer-by spotted the fox and took her to Beth.
When they brought her to me, her face was covered in scars, and she was a very such a sweet little thing. And so she slept in my bed for a few nights, until one night I got into bed and she piddled all over the place, and it was like a lake. So I'm afraid she was banished from my bed from then on, and I brought her to live in the conservatory, and she used to have her own modest basket, where she sleeps in a polytunnel with a big cushion in it. And ever since then she's grown up with my cats and dogs, and she's just become part of the family. The family that rescued her told me that she was profoundly deaf. She'd had 2 hearing tests and she failed them both. That was just basically making noises and clapping her hands and doing this. And Millie just didn't respond at all in both ears. And she conducted it over 10 minutes. It was very thorough. She just wasn't responding. And they always do. Puppies and kittens always do, you know, respond to noise. And so I knew then she could never be released.
Being deaf herself, Beth has a lot of empathy for Millie, and it would seem she's the ideal companion.
I wasn't born deaf, definitely not, because I actually passed the hearing test, that my mum tells me. But when I was getting on for 3-4 years old, my mum realised I wasn't actually talking as well as I should. So she took me to the doctor, because at the time I was actually screaming the place down with earache. And the doctor just fobbed her off as a flappy mum. And by the time she took me to another doctor, it was too late. I'd lost 95% of my hearing. It's just one of those unexplained viruses that strip the inner ear of the, you know, damage the nerve endings in the inner ear. And so they couldn't have done anything anyway. It was just one of those freak accident things. I feel very protective towards her. Because she's deaf, I know she just wouldn't survive in the wild.
But how does Beth communicate with a deaf fox?
I don't sign myself, but I knew that to have a communication with Millie, I would need to use Stein, because 2 years ago I went to a puppy class with my dog, and there was a dog there that was deaf, and the owner was having to Stein to this dog to get it to communicate with her. So that's where I got the idea from. If I want her to sit, which she would do when she wants, I normally do this, and she will sit. And I do that in front of her, if she's in front of me on the floor. And if she's being naughty, I say no, no, like this, and she knows what I mean. And then when I want to give her some food, I do this. I feed Millie day-old dead chick, and which is quite a good diet for her, and also chicken leg, because for a fox they have to have fur and bone and raw meat. It's good for their system, but she also likes cooked chicken, which she absolutely adores, and grated cheese and cocoa pop, and she loves cake and jaffa cake, all the things that are bad for her. And Millie is very nocturnal. Quite often I would come out in the morning to find that she'd emptied the entire contents of her toy box all over the floor. All the blanket of the cat bed would be on the floor. Millie liked everything on the floor. If my coat is on a chair, hanging around a chair, that would be on the floor as well. Millie liked everything on the floor. Millie's got a big personality. I wish people could stay where I stay. She's just the most amazing animal I've ever had. And I just can't see my life without her. She's really enhanced my life.
At the end of last year, a national project was launched as part of an